It seems like every day we get another report about sexual misconduct allegations of all types from all sectors of society.
The solution to this problem isn't going to come from any new government policy. We're going to have to change things from the bottom up. And that means being the kind of men our society needs first, and then changing the culture around us. Right now, our society has a lot of creeps out there who can't figure out how to control themselves around women, or just don't care to, including our very own elected officials and Hollywood elites.
It's a shame that it's taken so many women stepping forward to tell their stories to start this much-needed national conversation. But this is where we are now, and it's time we stand together and say stop. Unfortunately, we're at the point in our society where it's not just enough to live your own life honorably, because the epidemic is spreading. We have to spread it in the other direction by setting an example of honor and of decency. If you know women being abused or harassed in your workplace or in your personal life, don't turn a blind eye. Speak up, because we all know sexual reprobates like Harvey Weinstein, they don't exist in a bubble. They have a whole network of enablers who either don't say anything or they encourage it. Stop that. Guys can only do what Weinstein did because no one around them had the guts to tell them to knock it off. None of us can afford to stand by while this continues to happen and not say anything.
Being the right kind of man means having and growing in things like honor, character, and virtue. Our culture needs men who know what the right thing is and are willing to do it when nobody is watching and when everyone is watching.
Real men don't stand by when evil happens. They get out the way and they put a stop to it. They don't tolerate their buddies or their coworkers sending sexually explicit texts to other coworkers or to random people on the internet or to anyone for that matter. I guarantee you, women don't like it. They don't find it sexy. In fact, they find it creepy. And it's also going to come back and bite anyone who sends them in the butt, like it always does. I'm looking at you, Anthony Weiner. If your friend is looking for props because he just sent unwanted pics to an intern, don't just let it go. Call him out and let him know it's not cool, it's just weird.
When real men stay silent about unacceptable behavior like this, the powerful perverts and predators of the world get to run the show. We really need to step back and ask ourselves if political power or that next big promotion are really worth our sacred honor and the dignity of our brothers and sisters. We have to stand up for those being used and abused. We have to set the example for the kind of men that we need in our culture. And we have to fearlessly hold others to that standard, whether it's at the ballot box or at the office.
Our culture needs to learn some damn respect. Real men respect women, and they respect their bodies. Real men respect the sanctity of marriage. We need a cultural change in this country, and it starts with all of us knowing what it means to be a decent man.
We've got to be the good husbands, the good fathers, the good co-workers, and the good friends. And this mission ought to be at the forefront of our minds from the time we wake up in the morning to the time we go to bed. Being a man is about being that kind of honorable, self-sacrificing servant to our God, our family, and our country, with wisdom, temperance, courage, and justice.
It's about walking like a man. Don't make excuses for yourself or anyone else. You take responsibility for your actions and expect the same of your brothers, your buddies, and your coworkers. Oh, and here's just a simple rule of thumb. If you wouldn't want your mother to find out about something, don't do it and don't tolerate it.
The change continues by teaching your children how to be decent human beings as well. There's this sense of shame in our culture right now about wanting to create a strong family, about holding traditional values, and about living them out. But when these values are intact, societies flourish, and the vulnerable are safer from the predators.
Now, these things aren't popular, of course, in the under-virtuous, over-sexed, self-serving age of sex robots and meaningless Tinder hookups that we find ourselves living in today, but they are exactly the kind of medicine that our sick culture needs. So get up, be decent, and hold others accountable.
And when the time comes, pass the baton to the next generation so they can continue a culture of kindness, strength, and honor for our women, and a real sense of what it means to be a man.